Hi guys, welcome back to the Mina Does Art Stuff YouTube channel. Figured it's about time I show my face on here. You've only ever been seeing the overhead shot, so hello, welcome. This is me. If you don't follow me on my other YouTube channel, you might not know what I look like. So anyway, today I'm doing a bit of a vlog slash haul. It's going to be filmed over a few days, but I thought I would take you for a walk into town. So we're going to go to my local art shop, which is one of the oldest art shops in the UK, I think. It's like 150 years old. Anyway, we're going to go pop in and have a look. I actually went earlier this week on Monday with my daughter. It snowed on Monday. By the way, we're in April, and in UK, snow in April, a bit unheard of, especially in the south of the UK, which is where I am. But yeah, it went as well as you can expect going to an art shop with a 4-year-old can go. So I'm going back today because it was a bit distracting with her and I wasn't able to find everything I wanted to get. So we're going to go back again today. But first I have to go to the post office. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll the footage from Monday, because I did take some video, and then I'll come back with you over here. Alright guys, so it's a couple of days after I filmed the vlog portion of this video where I went to the art shop. It's a couple of days later and I thought I'd sit down and do the haul. Now this isn't all from my local art shop, so there's a lot that is from my local art shop. I think pretty much everything in this pile here is from the local art shop, and this bundle here is from eBay. This is from another local shop here in town. This one was from AliExpress, and this little bundle here was from Hobbycraft, which is another sort of like a big box sort of craft shop here in the UK. And these two I already owned before, but there's a reason. Anyway, okay, we'll get started, and I might as well start with the gouache. First up, I already had these two tubes of Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache in my collection of paints. Up until now I've mainly been focused on watercolor, haven't really used gouache that much. I got the white for highlights and stuff. It's very useful in watercolor to have some white gouache. And I also got the primary yellow to use sometimes when I do for like the center of flowers and stuff, because yellow a lot of the times doesn't, if you're going over your watercolor with a lighter color like yellow, then it's not necessarily going to show up. So having a bit of yellow gouache can help to have an opaque yellow to go over watercolors. Anyway, so I use that sometimes for the center of flowers. But that's all I'd had, and recently I've been interested in getting into trying out gouache a bit more and playing around with it. And Hobbycraft, which is, sorry, that's my other cat Derek, Hobbycraft, which is quite local to us, and they're all over the UK. They were having a sale on their De La Rowney gouache, designer's gouache, it was like a 2-for-1 deal, so buy one get one free essentially. So I got these 6 colors, which is what they'd had available that I was interested in. So there's magenta, yellow ochre, there we go, rose pink, then we had burnt sienna, permanent white, and flesh tint. I got an extra white even though I already had a white, just to have extra for mixing and stuff like that. And then they also had some Winsor & Newton Designer's Gouache, which was for a very affordable price, more affordable than I've seen anywhere else. So I picked up 5 of their colours as well. So I don't know what Derek's whining about. So I got alizarin crimson, sap green, jet black, burnt umber, and Prussian blue. And I got these ones in Winsor & Newton because they didn't have them in the Daler Rowney. Otherwise I would have got them from that brand since they were on sale. Anyway, and then later I found this set of used gouache on eBay. Someone was selling them and it went for a very affordable price. I think it was less than £10 in the end for 11 tubes. Even though they are used, they still have like more than half of tubes left. I think there's one here that's like unused and brand new. More than plenty paint to play around with, and considering the Winsor & Newton gouache tubes are anywhere from like £4 to £5 a tube and up, so that was a very good deal. And the colours I got mostly are different. I think I have 2 duplicates and that's it. So I have, let me just get a few of them lined up. We have Spectrum Red, Primary Yellow, which is one I already have, Venetian Red, Orange Lake Light, and Naples Yellow, Permanent Yellow Deep, Silver, Primary Blue, Sap Green, which is another duplicate, but I don't mind because I do use Sap Green a lot, Powder Blue, and finally Ultramarine as well. So got a huge variety here to play around with. Definitely don't need this many to get started with gouache, but I like playing with colour, so why not? So I'll be doing a dedicated swatching video for these paints at some point in the future. So yeah, hope you will look forward to that. Scooch those out of the way. I got this tin from AliExpress recently. I've been on the lookout for these tins for a long time. They're really hard to find. Ignore the scratch. Oh, can't actually really see it, but there's a scratch on the back here. That was my fault. I did that when I was opening the package. Yeah, my mum actually got me one of these tins for Christmas, but it's a smaller 3 one, which is lovely, and I still need to fill it. I think I've got an idea of what I'm going to fill it with, but I haven't done it yet. But so I wanted a bigger one as well because I really like this size of tin in general. And these are sometimes called like heavyweight enamel palettes. So they're more heavy duty than your standard sort of metal tin watercolor palettes. And I don't have one of those near me right now to show you. But it opens up, you have 4 big mixing areas on this side, and then the inner flap opens up and you have this nice big flat area on this side. And I just really love how the palette itself looks. And it has these bars that come out, so you put your pans into these little sections and then you secure them in place with the bar that goes in. And the space in the middle here, you can either put brushes or you can put extra pans, etc. The other thing I like about this palette is when it's open, that second flap, I don't know if you can see, it doesn't bend down, it stays flat, or it stays horizontal. It doesn't bend down and touch the table, which a lot of the other more standard metal tins do, which isn't a big deal, but I kind of like the fact that it stays flat. It means your paint's not going to run off in these corners when you're mixing on it. And yeah, it folds up nice and neat, and I got it in red. Again, these normally come in just plain black. It's very hard to find them in other colors, so it was nice to get a nice bright colored one. And they do come with the little ring on the bottom, so if you want to like hold it when you're painting, if you're like painting outside or whatever, if you want to hold your palette, then you've got a secure way of holding onto it, etc. That's not really what I do. I actually usually, if they are this sort of loose and flappy, I usually just tape it down so it doesn't keep flapping around, because that does actually bother me. But yeah, overall, really like this one. I will link it below if I can find it again. I think it is still available. And it comes in different colors. I think they've got some like pearlescent ones, some like shiny, like metallic ones, which are a little bit more expensive. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're still a really good deal for these, so I will link that one below. Then I also picked up this little mannequin figure person from a local shop here. It's called The Works. This was the brand. It was only £4. It's actually the cheapest I've seen it anywhere. It's just a 12-inch tall movable sort of mannequin, like a posable mannequin. And I really want to get better at drawing figures and just in general with drawing and stuff, and I know these sorts of things can really help with that, just to give you a visual and like be able to focus on just shapes rather than details. And that's the thing that I sometimes get hung up on, is I end up getting too hung up on the details of things and not just, and so I think this will actually really help with just focusing on the basic shapes of a figure rather than the details. Like I said, sorry, I feel like I'm being repetitive at this point, but yeah, really good deal. If I can, I will link this one. I think The Works has a website that I can link it, but otherwise I believe they're only here in the UK, so if you aren't in the UK that might not be the most helpful thing, but it's just a posable mannequin. I think it's called an artist mannequin on the box, so you can always just search for one of those. If I can find something similar on Amazon, I will link that as well. Okay, so now moving on to the bits that I picked up from my local art shop. So I got these two pads, both by Clairefontaine, which is a really lovely paper company. I have another version of this paint on paper. So I've got the one that's got an orange cover. It's mixed media paper. This one has a grain to it. So this one's more like a cold press finish, and the other one is more, I guess the other one's more like a cold press. This one is more rough. Like it has a tooth to it. I don't know if I can show you on the camera or not. So yeah, you can see the texture there on that paper. And I thought it'd just be fun to see the difference between the two. And yeah, so it's good for all sorts of media. You can use it with watercolors, pastels, pencils, gouache, all sorts. So yeah, a great multi-purpose surface. And then I also got their grey paper in the A4 size. Again, I thought this would be really good, and this is the smoother texture, which is what my other white pad is like. So you can see it's a lot smoother. I guess it's more similar to like a hot press paper, but it still has more texture than a hot press paper would. So it's somewhere between like a cold press and a hot press. And again, this is good for all sorts of media: pen, pencil, pastel, ink, watercolor, gouache, etc. So I thought this would be really fun to play around with gouache and pastels, the oil pastels and soft pastels that I have. So I thought that would be really fun to have like a toned paper for that. These were really affordable as well, so they come with tons of sheets in them. This one has 30 sheets, this one has 20 sheets. Both are 250 GSM papers, £115. It's a little bit lighter than your standard watercolor paper, but it's pretty decent for a mixed media paper. And so yeah, again, just great for playing around and experimenting with fairly inexpensive paper. Whilst I got these from my local art shop, I will link them if I can find them online, online sources for them as well. Then I did pick up some watercolor tubes from my local art shop. Now my local shop sells 3 brands of watercolors, mainly in tubes anyway. They sell Schmincke, Winsor & Newton and Sennelier. So I actually have a sample of all of them as it happens. So I picked up a tube of the Schmincke Indigo, and they only smell the small tubes there, so I got a small 5ml tube. Now Schmincke's Indigo is the only one that I know of that doesn't have a black mixed in with it, so that's really intriguing to me. It's got PB15:1 and PB66. So the PB66 I believe is a true indigo. Now that will probably mean it's not super light fast, which is fine as long as you know that. But I'm really intrigued. I've heard it's a really lovely shade of indigo. Then from Sennelier I got the Caput Mortuum colour, which is meant to be like a really sort of violet leaning brown that has heavy granulation to it, which I am really into granulation right now, so I thought it'd be nice to experiment with that. And then from Winsor & Newton I got 3 of their colours. I also got the Caput Mortuum Violet from Winsor & Newton. I thought it'd be interested to see the difference between that one and the Sennelier, but I will be honest, I didn't mean to get this one, so that was a fun extra that jumped in my basket. There's the Mars Blacks. Now I have the Mars Black from Turner, and I have it from Schmincke as well, but I've heard really good things about the Winsor & Newton one, so I wanted to try that out. And this colour, Aqua Green, is a special colour from Winsor & Newton it was part of like a limited range they released, but it's now available all the time, I believe. But it's just a really intriguing color and I wanted to try it out. And it doesn't actually have any pigment information on it. It just says pigment phthalo. So that's interesting. Oh, the Caput Mortuum by Sennelier is pigment PR101. The Winsor & Newton version, Caput Mortuum Violet, is also PR101. And the Mars Black is PBK11. Just in case anyone's interested in the pigment codes. So yeah, that's those ones. I will do a swatching video, I think, for all of these and the gouache as well all together. That will probably come up after this video. So I got this Art graphite stick. So again, you can draw with it. It's nice because it has a wrapper so your fingers won't get that messy. So you can draw with it, but it's also water soluble, so then you can activate it with water. The brand is Viarco. Viarco is the Art Graph. They have a bunch of different types of products as well, so a really fun one to check out. And then I also got a few more of the Caran d'Ache Neo Color 2. So these are the water soluble ones. I've got the sort of like the standard box of 10 colors, like the predetermined color range, but I wanted to get a few of like there are other more subtle and more nuanced colors. So I got, I think this one's Prussian blue, Sahara yellow, I believe. Then we have here moss green, olive green, light olive. I really like olive green if you haven't noticed. I think this is salmon pink and turquoise blue. It's funny because I love olive green, but I hate olives, the food. Like I absolutely detest olives, but I love the color green, the olive green color. Which is quite funny, really. I picked up some more Sennelier oil pastels. They have quite a good range at my local art shop. So I picked up a bunch from there in colors that I don't have, obviously. I mean, you'd hope, wouldn't you? So I got 8 pastels from them. So I picked up, the colors I got was sap green, yellow ochre, midnight blue, violet ochre, Prussian blue. Prussian blue is one of my favorite blue colors, so not surprising I got that one. Bordeaux, brown pink, which is like a green gold color, and let's see what that one is. That one's called purple, but it looks like a magenta sort of color. So yeah, I got these 8. The one I really wanted to get was a color called moss green, but they were out of stock of that color. So I guess I'll probably have to get that later next time I place a Jackson's order or something. And yeah, so again, I will link an online source for all of these products. Oh, I also got a set of these Conte Paris pastel pencils. I thought these would be good for adding like more specific, smaller details. One of them's a bit broken, but that's fine. So these again are your more standard colors that come in the 12 color tin. I also picked up 2 others of the same brand in sepia and sanguine colors. So I have like some more muted tones to go with them. They look similar to some of these, but they are different, so they're not exactly the same shades of brown there. Then talking about pastel pencils, I picked up 2 of the Faber-Castell Pitt Pastel pencils just to try out a different brand and see the difference. And I picked up 2 of the colors, and they don't have the color names written on the pencil, so I'll have to look them up later. But it's the red one, or the more reddish one, is the number's 193, and the green one is 267. Those are the number codes for them if you are interested. I just thought they were nice shades of those colors, and I use reds and greens a lot in my artwork, so didn't think I would go too wrong there. And then I picked up a few more of the Caran d'Ache Museum Aquarelle pencils. I really like these. They're water soluble pencils, so they're watercolor pencils essentially. And I do have a few shades of these already, so I just picked up a few extra shades. Now I can't, hopefully the names are on these. Some of them have the names on the barrel and some don't. I know this one is turquoise blue. Then what color was this one? This one is light olive. So the green is light olive. Then we have chestnut is this lovely brown. This pinkish color is violet pink. Then we have scarlet, I believe is the red one. And the final one is purplish red. Okay, I think that's everything. Pretty sure that's everything now. Yep, that's everything. Okay, so I now have a nice array of stuff. Oh, the last thing actually I forgot to mention is this, the background. This I also got from AliExpress. It's just a background sheet. It's quite large. I think it's sort of like an A2 size, maybe a bit bigger. And again, it was fairly inexpensive. It actually just arrived this morning. And it's just great to use as a backdrop for photos or for some videos, like haul videos like this, where I want a nice sort of clean background, a lighter background. The table that I film at is like a grey colour, if you remember from my other videos, and so it can be a little bit dark as a background. So I just thought it'd be nice to have something to mix things up a little bit, and also for photos, for Instagram and stuff, it's nice to have a different option for a background to take pictures against. And if you like this type of video and you enjoy what you're seeing here on this channel, please consider liking this video, subscribing, leave me a comment. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section. And yeah, and then I'll be back later with a swatching video to swatch out all the supplies that I got as well. Also, so you know, and I have put this in all my video descriptions for you anyway, so it does clearly state it. Some of the links below are affiliate links, and all that means is if you purchase something through one of those links, then I get a small commission. It doesn't affect the price that you pay, but it helps me out and it helps out this channel, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you in advance for anyone who decides to use one of those links. And all right, okay, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Like I said, come back for the swatching video for this haul, because yeah. All right, I will see you guys again later. Take care. Bye.